Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the OSU Roundup. Casey Kendrick, and we've got a lot to get to, and let's get right to it. Let's bring in the head man for the Oklahoma State Cowgirl softball team, Kenny Gajewski, and Coach headed back to the Women's College World Series. What an exciting opportunity for your program.
Yeah, it's another great moment in our time here, and our girls have worked so hard to get here, and now it's time to go and do some damage.
You know, it's interesting, Coach, because I know a couple of years ago, and obviously we had the interruption with COVID, but 2019 you were there, 2020 no season. Now you're back. Is the approach different? And I want to talk about how you got here, but the mentality of the program, second time, going different this time around?
I think it's just we're not rushing around here trying to make sure we have everything done. We've got a lot of notes from our previous years, things that are important, things we don't want to miss, things we want to make sure our girls take a moment to capture in their minds too. So we're a little better in that. We'll get better as we keep going back, and that's our plan, to be here every single year, and that's the goal, that's the standard. So I think from the experience point, it's really good. Now it just boils down to getting there and executing our plan the way that we want to.
You said, quit rushing me. Let's not get past the Big 12 tournament. Let's not talk about regionals and supers. Let's get to the Women's College World Series. How good have you been with your kids staying in the moment, and how excited now that it's finally here, and allow yourself to enjoy the process?
I walked in our office yesterday, and I sat down on the couch in the assistant coach's offices, and I said, does anybody here feel any different? And we all said, no, we feel the same. And that's the same thing I told our kids, like, this doesn't define you. Not getting here wouldn't have defined us. But now that we are here, let's enjoy this, and let's go do what we set out to do. So, I'm excited about the opportunities ahead of us. I keep reminding our seniors, like, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't look forward to one thing. You have about 10 days left. And let's just completely engulf yourself in the moment. I'm going to do my best to slow every day down, to make it feel like it's lasting as long as it can. Because for some of these kids like Carrie and Allison and Reagan and Jordan and Logan, like, this is it. Like, they may get a chance to go play some pro ball, like Carrie and Allison, most likely, but like, it's just dwindling, and I don't want them to lose that. I want them to just enjoy. And so that's what I feel like my biggest job is. I let these assistant coaches do what they do, and me just to help everybody stay in line and make sure that we're doing the right things.
So let's talk about quickly the process. It was a 2 out of 3 versus Texas. You guys won 5 in a row after you won the first game in the series 6-1. The second game, obviously, Texas able to come back and even the thing up, and finally snapped a 5-game win streak that you guys had against them. And then Sunday, Coach, just the atmosphere, the electricity of the place. You said last week, if we play as well as we can, I believe we're the better team, will win. Got a little chippy, a few little waves going back and forth, some things happening. And when it was all said and done, you guys were the better team.
Yeah, I felt like that the whole time. Going back to the waves and the chippiness, I thought the play was actually outstanding from both teams. I think what you have is two teams that completely respect each other. Their catcher, tremendous player, Mary, known about her, recruited against her, recruited her when she transferred, tried to get her to come here. I have a ton of respect. She just has fun. It's a little bit of like Sam Chow in a way, and we were just having fun back. There was zero bad will, and I think both teams completely respect each other. So I really, going back to Friday, I felt like we kept the momentum of that. Got beat on Saturday, but I really think the pressure went to Texas, whether they know it or not. All of a sudden, they came into this thing, Casey, with no expectations. Hey, we're the underdog. We haven't won yet. And then all of a sudden they win a game, and now it's like, oh my gosh, we have to win again. And our girls were like, we're not going to beat these guys every single time we play them. They're really good. So I felt like the pressure really turned on them. I think it showed some when Chelsea got the first bunt down and they kind of panicked, and whether she was out or not at first, they called her out, but it put them in a little bit of a panic mode, and I saw it, and we took advantage of it, and credit our kids. We just did what we had to do to win.
And the other thing, Coach, that bodes well for you guys going into the Women's College World Series, you guys have done this with the long ball. I think the broadcasters felt like that you guys were kind of a one-trick pony. It's not how you won Game 3. You guys can do it with small ball, long ball. This team's got a lot of different tools to make things happen.
Well, the one thing that I think that this coaching staff was able to do was to realize the fact after Saturday that, okay, we've kind of run out of our little mojo on the home runs. We're going to have to kind of grind this out. I went to Chelsea and Avery both on Sunday. I said, you guys are going to need to create some havoc here today. We've kind of been getting away with you guys not playing to your potential. They're taking some things away, but you're not even trying to force it. We need to force this on them. And if we're going to win this game, it's going to come down to you two getting on base. And it did. And, I'd like to tell you, I called that 2-strike, 2-out bunt. I didn't. That was on her own. However, we as a coaching staff have been trying all year to get her to bunt with 2 strikes because everybody moves back. It's wide open. She may be the best bunter in the country this year. And I said, all you got to do is execute. It doesn't even have to be a perfect bunt, but the element of surprise will get them. And it did. And it really changed this whole game.
No doubt it did. You guys take 2 out of 3. Now, 2 quick questions, Coach, as we get ready. This is our final show of the season. One is, again, a little bit premature, and I know you're going to tell me this, but you're not going to put the whole season and wrap it up right now. Too much work ahead of you. But where is the season right now, the program, I should say, when you look up and Florida and Coach Tim are not in the Women's College World Series and you guys are? For you personally, that's just a step, a milestone, and maybe a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, to be honest. I was looking forward to being in another press conference with Tim and Patty like we were in 19. I thought that was a really cool moment when they got eliminated. That was my first thought is I'm bummed for them. I'm bummed for those kids. I know a lot of those kids. I recruited a handful of those kids. So that hurts. It hurts me because I know it, I know it hurt them. So, but I know he's happy for us. It shows you how hard it is to get here. That's what it does. It just validates how hard it is to get here every single year. And, personally, I wanted him here, but I'm glad that we're here.
You're going to take on a Georgia team that knocked Florida out. Tell us a little bit about this team. I know obviously there's no taking this team very lightly. They're good. Yeah,
they're really young. Got a really good arm in Avant. I mean, it's gonna be a grind. We're gonna have to figure out a way to score runs. We're gonna try to pressure them like we did with Texas. I think we can expose that some. We're gonna have to get a big hit at some point. So we're going to need somebody to step up, hopefully a bunch of them, but we're going to need 1 or 2 without a doubt. And we need Carey to be Carey. That's what we're going to need. So it's going to be an electric atmosphere with Oklahoma playing before us with a new stadium or more seating. It's going to be unbelievable. And we got a taste of that in the Big 12 tournament. So I think it's going to really benefit us in the long run.
And you guys had a great crowd for your regional, great all weekend long, and now on to the Women's College World Series. Kenny, it's been a blast all year long following you guys. Best of luck in the Women's College World Series, and as you say, doing some damage.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Go Pokes.
Thanks again, Coach, and best of luck. Now for the Cowboys, they're getting ready for regional play, and we're going to talk to Josh Holliday. We'll do that coming up next.
For all the ways you love to play, Academy Sports and Outdoors makes it easier than ever to get what you need and have fun out there. Get free shipping on your favorite brands at academy.com or get free curbside or in-store pickup at your Academy store.
This one is intercepted.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you...
game day is a go, there's a Bud Light there.
Welcome back. I am Jessica Maury. I'm now joined by Oklahoma State head baseball coach Josh Holliday. Coach, you guys are heading to the postseason in the Tucson Regional, and you guys are a 2 seed. What was it like hearing your names called during the selection show?
Well, obviously, we're excited to be in the tournament. You got to get in it before you can win it. So that's the first step. And now we take on a really good regional. I think the Tucson Regional with Arizona as the 1 seed, us, UC Santa Barbara, and then Grand Canyon, all good baseball teams. Arizona really stands out from the standpoint of what they did in the Pac-12. UC Santa Barbara with a couple of excellent pitchers and a very disciplined team that's played at times very high level baseball. And then Grand Canyon, a team that we saw earlier this year that went off and won the WAC championship, also featuring some outstanding pitching. So there's some very good teams, some very good coaches, and obviously some great players. So it's a tough draw, but at this point in the year, they're all tough, and you've got to go out and play well and execute at a high level. That's all there is to it. That's why it's called the postseason. So we'll be ready for the challenge, and we're excited. And I'm proud of the team for doing what it took to get to this point. Now we go pick up essentially kind of where we left off in the Big 12 tournament, which is in tournament mode and understanding how day-to-day, how important each game, is to win it.
And speaking of the Big 12 tournament, you guys made it to the championship game, ultimately falling to TCU, but on your way upsetting Texas, huge wins for you guys. How did your performance in the Big 12 tournament, how is that really going to help you looking ahead to this regional and hopefully further on in the postseason?
Yeah, well, I think it set us up for guys to have some experiences that prepared them for this week. Obviously Justin Campbell was outstanding against OU. We faced a really good pitcher in Jason Ruffcorn from OU in game 1, who resembles and shows our hitters what it's going to take to beat an elite right-handed pitcher. So that was great for our team to see that particular matchup. I thought in game 2 against West Virginia, it was great to see Parker Scott get out there and get his pitch count built back up and see him back on the mound. That was really good. Bryce Osmond had a positive outing. The Texas game was really good. I thought Mitchell Stone threw the ball great, and against an elite Texas team with high-level position players and pitchers, and then big-time relief pitching from Cale Davis and Brett Stanley in that one. And then obviously the 4th game of the tournament, the championship game, we came up a little short to a TCU team that really, from start to finish this year has been awfully good. It's reflected in their national seed in the tournament. So we saw some great teams, a lot of good performances, and all those experiences in tournament play, how to prepare for those games, getting to the field, getting ready to play with other games going on before yours. All those things kind of get your team adjusted to the postseason model and ultimately ready to compete.
And you've got some of your pitchers back. You mentioned Parker Scott, Brett Stanley. How great is it to have them back now at this time of the year?
Well, it's super important. They obviously provide us not only the depth that we need, but the excellence that we need as well. I mean, those guys, when they're doing their thing, are excellent pitchers. They're leaders. They're experienced. They're winners. They bring so many of the elements to the team that make us better. They make us more confident. They make us a better matchup against elite teams, and they have the courage and experience to pitch those key innings with the game on the line. So those guys are obviously a huge part of our team, and the hard work they put in to get back and get healthy, along with our trainer, Eli Williams and Wes Alm, those guys working hard to help those boys get their bodies back, have been a huge part of what we envisioned as a late season push.
And you mentioned UC Santa Barbara earlier. That's who you will face in the first game at 3 p.m. on Friday. What do you know about them?
Well, statistically, they have a couple of pitchers that are just really having outstanding seasons as a program. They're known for being a very fundamentally sound team. We saw them in the College World Series a few years ago. Very well coached team, and baseball is a huge identity piece for their program. They pride themselves in playing great baseball. So we have a ton of respect for them. We know this is a very, very legitimate club with very good players. And like I said, a very well-prepared team because of the coaching staff. So we just need to continue to do our thing, prepare well, show up, be sharp, be locked in, and go pitch to pitch with them.
Awesome. Well, best of luck in the regional, Coach. Thank you so much for joining me. Cowboy baseball will take on UC Santa Barbara on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Coming up after the break, we'll catch up with women's golf head coach Greg Robertson. We'll be right back.
Living with joint pain. Take the first step at mercy.net/cowboysortho.
There are a great many things that can be found on the road. A giant blue whale in central Oklahoma. Musicians in search of that perfect melody. You'll even discover the center of the universe. You'll find stories of lives led, challenges met, and men who raise pigeons. They're all out there waiting to be discovered. All you have to do is follow the road. Phillips 66. Live to the full.
Welcome back once again to the show. Joining us now is Greg Robertson, the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowgirl Golf team. And Coach, congratulations on an absolutely incredible run.
Thanks, I appreciate it. It was a fun time, really throughout the year, but especially last week at Nationals.
You know, we've talked a few times over the course of the season, and you know, I just kept asking you about this team and what's the ceiling and where's this team headed. And you know, you were, I think, cautiously optimistic that hey, this team's got the talent to make a great run. I don't know how much you surprised yourselves or the rest of the country, but you know, as a 3 seed in the match play. It would certainly seem that you guys did, you maxed out a lot of things this year.
Yeah, I think, you know, as the year went on, we continued to improve. And really it was about the point where when we won in Dallas, our last regular season tournament, and we did it without Maya and we did it without Isabella. That's when I started to think that, you know, this team's pretty special and we're pretty deep right now, that we might have a chance to make a run.
You guys finished, as I said, third after stroke play. Mm-hmm. What was the confidence level entering match play?
Very high. They you know, they were loose, they were relaxed, playing well. All of them contributed. All of them were shooting good scores. So I think they felt like, you know, they could go on a pretty good run. At least that's the way it appeared being around them, and they certainly did.
When you look at the way the tournament unfolded, you guys knock off Auburn. Mm-hmm. Stanford goes down. Now the 1 seed's gone. Yeah. You guys match up with Duke. You manhandle Duke. Mm-hmm. And then, and obviously you take on a very hot Ole Miss team. But it just almost seemed like it was playing out like a path was being paved for you guys.
Well, you know, the strongest match that I thought we were going to have, and really was a good match, was against Auburn, because they just come off shooting 10 under the day before to get work their way in. And so that was the team that I was a little bit worried about. And then to go out and do what we did against Duke, at that point, you know, I felt like, you know, we've got a really good chance of doing this. But certainly we ran into a tough Ole Miss team. They were hitting the shots, they were making the putts, and doing everything that they needed to do to win the championship, and you got to give them credit for it.
Incredible win. I am just curious, you know, coaches, you know, you get to that point and you realize how close you were to the pinnacle, and then, but on the flip side of that, you have to have an incredible appreciation for the season it was. How have you balanced that here in the last few days?
Well, I mean, we're certainly proud of everything that they've done, and that's what we told them afterwards. I mean, keep your heads up. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. You've accomplished a lot, but certainly there is some disappointment that you didn't get it done. I think what I've seen and hearing from some of the players and talking to them is that they're excited about this coming year. and hopefully that translates into working hard over the summer, continuing to do the things that we did all throughout this year to get us to this point, and hopefully we can get back to that position. And if we do, then we've been there, and you hope that you can handle it a little bit better than you did the time before.
Fierro, Tadamatsu, honorable mention All-American. Maya Stark, first team All-American, depending on the publications and who's making those announcements. Only one senior on this team, Coach. The future looks really, really good for you guys.
Yeah, it's a young team, and with 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior in the lineup at Nationals. We're excited about everybody coming back. We even have a recruit coming in this fall who's a very good international player, and so we're excited about what the year could look like next year. But again, it's going to be up to the players to continue to do the right things, work hard, continue to get better between now and the fall, if they want to continue this run and do it all on into this coming year.
Well, and I know your goal is to bring the women's program to the same level of expectations it is on the men's side. How much different will it be next year having that kind of anticipation and expectation going into the year?
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, we don't talk to the team about expectations or anything like that. It's just continuing to do things on a daily basis to get yourself just a little bit better than you were the day before. But they know what they did the year before and what the possibilities are this coming year, and so that is going to be the challenge, to kind of manage their expectations a little bit, and just keep them focused on doing focused on that process and doing the little things day in and day out to continue to get better and get back to that spot we were in this year.
Incredible run, maybe the icing on the top. Your son hits a hole-in-one on the same hole that you hit your first hole-in-one on?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a day after we got back. They wanted to go out and play, my 2 boys, and the 7th hole at Carson Creek, it was 92 yards. He hit a pitching wedge and holed it out. The crazy thing is that both of them, having been in Arizona to watch match play, they wanted to play match against each other. So my youngest, who didn't make the hole-in-one, I think was mad that the other one did, because he was down in his match. So, but it was I mean, a great thing to see, and so I was proud of him, and yeah, just ironic that it's the same hole that I made my first hole-in-one on, except he's about 7 or 8 years younger than I was when I made mine.
Pretty amazing stuff. That's good stuff. Coach, congratulations on an incredible year, and best of luck in the offseason.
Thank you very much.
Hey, that's going to wrap it up for this show and for the season. We want to say thanks to all the many coaches that have joined us all season long. We want to say thanks to you guys for watching, and best of luck to all of our sports teams, softball, baseball, other teams that are in postseason right now. We wish them the very best, and we will see you guys next year on the OSU Roundup.